HojuKimchi, episode 11.
HojuKimchi, Australian kimchi.
Yeah, not Korean kimchi like last week. How are you, Buzzer?
Not too bad, not too bad. How are you, sir? How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I would like to start with a question.
Okay.
I would like to introduce a situation that I faced yesterday, and I would like
Ooh.
to hear your take on how you would have behaved in this scenario.
Oh, nice. So this
Yeah,
is off script, live reaction, off
yeah,
script.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
All right, sweet, sweet.
All right, so yesterday, I picked up the missus after work, and then we were on our way to dinner. I was like running on fumes, like just in terms of my petrol. So we pulled over to the servo, and as we were pulling into the servo, there was a white Mazda 9 or whatever, like a SUV in front of me.
Mm.
This is a tiny little servo with four guns, right? But
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's like the cheapest in the area. They were all
yeah,
full at the time, and this place is cheaper by like 30 cents, so like pretty good.
yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's one of those mad tight ass cheap places. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep. Anyway, so they were all full, and then two cars were pulling in. So there was a guy in front of me, and then he didn't queue up, and he just like kind of went up the ramp. So you got your four guns, and then you got the shop where you pay, and then you have some like there was like a hill like up this way. I don't even know what's behind that. Anyway, he went up that way, and then I queued up. Um, and then the guy that was directly in front of me, he looked like he was kind of getting finished. I wasn't sure. Maybe he was like he needed to reverse out. When you're like the first to get out. Sometimes you need to reverse and go around, right? Anyway, so I was like kind of leaving a little bit of space for him to reverse or whatever. And then this Mazda that kind of went up the hill came back down and then just went like straight in, right? So I was pretty perplexed. And firstly, I high beamed a couple of times just to get a bit of a reaction. Hear nothing. And this is where my memory is a little bit hazy. I don't know if the guy, so if from on the passenger side, like he's the guy's wife. At this point, I have no idea who's in the car or whatever. Um, Kind of, it seemed like there was some conversation with the car, that was in front, and then the guy who just Setchigeso, who just butted in. Because I remember Lena making a comment, oh, yeah, like maybe they're friends or something, and I was like, yeah, whatever. So I waited for about maybe 5 to 10 seconds to just kind of see what's going on after I high beamed,
Mm, mm.
and just yeah, just nothing. So and then I think I pulled down the window and like stuck my head out and go, hey, what's going on? Heard nothing. I think the guy had like his window very like slightly open, so no response. So I get out of the car, go up to him, and then I kind of I think maybe I knocked on the window or something, and I go, hey, well, what's going on? And he's like, what? I understand again. This is like my memory is hazy. Basically, just like what do you mean? Like just absolute
Yeah,
wouldn't
like play the dumb
yeah yeah
card. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I was like, hey yeah, I probably said something like, hey what's going on? Why are you cutting in? And then he was like, "What? You got out of the car to tell me this?" Or some shit like that. He was kind of like um, evading the topic initially, and then obviously I saw him go up before, right? So and then he later got on to saying, "Hey, well, didn't you see me come here before you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I saw you, and then you went up. So like, get back in the line." And then like kind of we started arguing, and then he got out of the car, and then it was kind of getting like heated and kind of escalating. And then he was like, "Hey, come up to the back, come up to the back." So I was like, I was following, and I guess this could have led to a punch on at that point. Like, as in, it might have, it might not have. Um, and then at that point, I was kind of going up with him, and then to a certain point, and then when it was like too far to the back, because I wanted if I was to get into a punch on, I wanted it all on film.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then at that point, well, the car that in front of us had moved on, and his wife. Oh, by the way, so his wife was sitting in the passenger seat, and then he had like one or two little kids in the back, and this guy is fucking like swearing and like he's just going all aggro and shit. Like,
Oh,
um,
so he was going off.
yeah, he was going off. He was going off.
Oh,
And then yeah, so his wife got out of the car, came around to the driver's seat, and then pulled in. And as she was doing that, I was kind of walking down, and I was like, hey, well, like you think this is reasonable? And oh yeah, and then the guy and the wife were both saying, hey, yeah, like we're running on fumes, like we're in a hurry. And the guy was like just being ridiculous. No, he was like, um, what the fuck? What does it matter? If I was going up that way, like maybe I felt like it, or it's just being absolute retard, right? Um, and
fucking
then
love it, man.
okay,
Welcome to Sydney, man.
yeah, and then
Fucking hate
then
this, man.
they pulled. By then there were two free spots, so they went to the front, I went to the back. We were both like putting fuel into the tank, and then like looking at each other, and he was saying shit to me. Oh, and then at some point, maybe like during some of that, he called me an Asian dog, right? Um,
Classic.
obviously, son 넘었어. And then he went in to pay, and then by the time that I was paying, we kind of crossed paths again. Yeah, by that point I was like, yeah, forget it. I was just like by being smart, I was like, yeah, have a good night, mate, and shit. Um, right. So here, okay, so that's the gist of it. Um, would you have got into a punch on over that? And
Uh,
I'm kind of like omitting like full detail. This guy was like aggro. He was swearing. He was being unreasonable. Um, yeah, and, he was like, "Well, what are you going to do about it?" That type of thing. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and then if I had followed him all the way to the back, I would yeah, I would say it's quite probable that it would get into a punch on.
It's on. It's on. Okay, honest answer. Okay, first of all,
Yep.
before marriage and kids, and after, I would say that. Okay, so before, I feel like, before marriage and kids and all that shit.
Mm,
And don't get me wrong, I'm not a fucking fighter, right? So
mm, mm,
if usually when I arc up,
mm.
it's when I know I feel that I can at least take this person on. So
Yep,
normally,
yep,
like when I do arc up, like
yep.
on public transport or whatever, it's someone that I've already measured up. All right,
Yeah,
like I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna freaking take on a jacked up
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
jacked up beast man or some shit.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like if it's like someone as big as Spaniard or something, I'm not an idiot, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
like,
yeah.
um, I do pick the
As big
fight
as
if
who?
that makes.
Oh, Spaniard, man.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
guy's huge, man. He's I've seen him
Yeah,
before, like
yeah,
on the
yeah,
street. Anyway,
yeah.
um, so just being brutally honest, if it's someone like that, I ain't fucking picking a fight there because I
Yep.
know the odds are against me. But if it's, I feel like someone I can take on, like usually, someone
So
who,
what do the odds have to be for you to take this on? So like,
yeah,
say like dollar eighty, dollar 70, like what do the
no,
odds have to be?
at least 60-40 my way, and then
At
I'm and
least
then it's
60
on.
40. So what,
Yeah,
dollar 50, dollar 50 or something.
yeah, yeah. If it's like dollar, no dollar, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
Either way, 60
through the
40.
tab
Yeah,
odds,
60 40 is good enough.
yeah, 60-40, yeah,
Yeah,
60-40 my
yeah,
way,
yeah,
at least
yeah.
it's on. Right, fifty
Yep.
fifties maybe I'm like, oh, I don't know, like depends. It depends. I mean, I'll probably, if I'm that aggro, yeah,
Yep.
I'll take 50-50. But
Yep.
60-40 is when I really arc up.
Yep.
70-30, and then I'm like, I feel like I'm like
It's on.
peace
It's
level.
on.
Like 70-30, if it's some like scrawny, like,
Yeah.
non-threatening,
Yeah. Yeah.
non-threatening lad, then I'm
Yeah.
just like, that's when I feel like I'm the aggressor.
Yeah,
like Western Sydney Asian kid, like you
yeah, yeah,
fucking what are you gonna do? But like if it's the other way around,
yeah, yeah.
and like I'm the
Oh,
yakcha,
sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
So that's important. So like, was this guy jacked,
No,
and
no,
were
okay.
you
So
a yak?
before that, before
Yeah,
no, no, because and I'm purposely leaving all that out to the end.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And through at some point on a couple of occasions, he was like talking to Lena, saying, "Hey, well, he's talking to me first, and go, what, you trying to,
Mm,
impress your girlfriend in the car or something,
yeah,
like kind of
yeah,
like, going on
yeah.
with shit like
Yeah.
that." Yeah.
I mean, Lena was obviously like, hey, 그냥 가자, right? Like, obviously she would have been like not into this.
She was just in the car while all this was happening.
Yeah,
Just in
yeah,
the car, like I was outside the car. So initially, I was at this guy's car, and then we were kind of going up towards the back of the servo, and then kind of stopped halfway, and then we both came down as his car, his wife kind of moved the thing, and then I moved my car in, and yeah.
Like, but before you went out of the car, was she like, 그냥 하지 마? Like, was she like that, or was it just like complete
Uh,
like,
no, no, no. I
all
don't
right,
think like she didn't say anything. She didn't really have much time to respond. She probably didn't think that
okay,
I was gonna go up like because what happened was the guy pulled in, high beamed, waited for about 10 seconds, and I was like, "Well, what's going on?" And then and I was being like totally um, calm and composed. Well, at least initially, and then it obviously
yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
as the guy was just being a dick. But yeah.
Yeah. So, but like after was Lena like, oh, why? Yeah, 왜 그랬어? 그냥 가자. Like,
No,
was
well,
she?
she was like, because after all that, like, I was kind of thinking about it. I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
did I do the right thing? Like,
yeah,
um, like, I don't want to be a coward, and I don't want to be. I need to weigh things up. Like, at the end of the
yeah.
day, it's over.
Just as I said.
Yeah, it's over. Like, what's like something so insignificant, but at the same time it's injustice. So like all these things were weighing up in my head, and then for her the most important thing was my likelihood of getting hurt, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously for me that's important as well. Like, I'm
Mm.
fucking I'm 40, and I've just started a new job. I don't want to fucking turn up with my lips busted or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
like it's just like over what? You know, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And then I was like, okay, well, in that, and then I was obviously putting the extreme to it. I was like, okay, what if that was out of the occasion? Out of the equation? What if it was a 15-year-old girl that wasn't going to be like any threat? And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well let's go back to the question. As I said, yeah. So this is before marriage. If I
mm,
knew I could take the person on, yes, like I would arc up
yep,
basically, like
yep,
instigating it.
yep,
But now definitely like so that exact situation with my wife and kid in the car, mate. I'm walking away, man. Like
mm.
it's just
Okay, what would you
like
have done? What would you have, as
no.
in,
So I would
would
have
you
I would
would
have
you have
done
even gone
yeah.
up?
Yeah, yeah, I would have done the high beam thing or whatever
Yep, yeah, yeah,
and be like, oh, like, and I probably wouldn't have, like, can't be fucked to get out of the car or whatever. I'd just like, lean out and be like,
yep.
oi, boss, what's the dealio, mate?
Mm,
And then, like, it'd probably, and hate to say it, but it would probably be who I'm thinking in my head, stereotyping that would get out
mm.
and be like, well, what the fuck? I don't give a shit. Then I'd be like, "Pff," and walk away. That's most likely what would happen um with in this scenario because as you said it's over bullshit, right? Like it's just not important. If it
Mm.
was over something important, like as in are they affecting the safety of my child and my wife, then it doesn't matter who it is. It's
Yeah,
on like Donkey Kong, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think context matters, but this exact context over some bullshit fuel, then no, of course not. But pre marriage and kids, if it's someone that I could take on, then yeah, I'm gonna arc up. If it's
Okay.
someone that I can't take on, obviously I'm just gonna be like, oh, whatever.
Yep, yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was the stereotype. Um,
Ah, classic.
and like he wasn't overly big, but bigger, maybe like I don't know, 5-10 centimeters on me and maybe 15 kilos on me. I will,
Ooh, that's like heavy. That's heavy undercut, bro.
I'll back
Heavy
myself.
underweight.
I'll back myself.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not too bad. 10, 15 Ks, 5, 10 centimeters taller. I
Yeah,
mean, like, and he obviously wasn't jacked.
yeah, yeah. Well, like um, you know these guys. They're all like a bit of a gym junkie, and a bit muscular. But anyway,
Mm,
either way,
mm,
I'll back myself. But
mm,
um, yeah, it was just like. I was obviously thinking about the potential consequences. Like even if I beat this guy up, like
mm.
it's not as though it's very low chance that I will come out completely unscathed for one.
Yeah, it's a
And like
lose-lose. Like, even if you manage to beat,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like you
yeah,
say, even if you manage to beat him, it's
yeah,
lose-lose because like you don't get anything out of it really. And then the other side is, yeah, you lose the fight and you get smashed or whatever, and
yeah,
then that's a loss. Yeah.
yeah. So it kind of made me think. Okay, what would have been the best thing for me to have done in that scenario? Like kind of running it back in my mind. And I don't know if it would have made a huge difference, but like to really pinpoint out, just to say, hey, like fair enough, you're in a hurry, and well, why don't you just man up and just fucking admit that you went up the hill to think like to see if there was like another gun or something like that, and you realized there wasn't, and you saw the gap, and then you just decided to like cut in. Like, well, why don't you just admit to that, and then I'll just I'll let you go. I probably should have gone there, but like I wasn't thinking like straight enough or
Yeah.
composed enough to like come up with that sort of uh, logic, and not that this logic would have like worked much into this guy because this guy was like very logical. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like maybe if I made him feel a bit more shameful in front of his family, he might have
Dude,
been.
there's no shame. The
Yeah, there definitely
that
was no hint of
Yeah,
shame.
yeah.
I was like flabbergasted at this guy's behavior, and then how his wife was doing nothing. Like, you would kind of think
Mate.
that if your wife was in that situation, would be like, hey, like just calm down, like type of thing. Like not
What do you think the kids learn, mate?
yeah,
What do
exactly.
you think the kids
And then
learn,
his
mate?
two kids were at the back, and this guy's like swearing, and then eventually he's getting out of the car to like get into a punch on and stuff. I was like, yeah,
What do you think the kids learn, mate? Simple as that.
yeah, and another sort of takeaway from this is it's it's a challenge, but a mission for me to not stereotype these people, right? Like it's to not be prejudiced from this one incident, and it's
Yeah.
fucking hard. It's
Yeah. I
difficult.
was joking. I was joking, by the way, but like, as in, like, it's
Well,
funny that it was. It's
yeah,
funny
no,
that
no,
it was, but I
yeah.
was joking. But that could have been anyone. That could have been, bro. That could have been Johnny's. That could have been anyone.
Well, like I have to say the stereotype fucking held true. Um, and yeah, when you have a personal sort of experience like that, it's difficult to completely erase it. But obviously, I need to try.
Well, I mean, I went to a, school that was,
Yeah. Look at us being so politically correct.
yeah.
Just tiptoeing
Well,
around.
I grew up in, as I think we mentioned a million times, but yeah, like Canterbury
Canterbury
Bankstown,
Bankstown, the
yeah,
area.
yeah, and then school as well.
Yeah.
So in saying that, it's anyone, and to be honest, like, it's um different type of yangachi things to do. Like, as in, I feel like Asians do their own style of
Yeah.
yangachi and stuff. It's just that this stereotype tends to be the aggressive-ish type
Mm,
um of like escalation issues. But like, there's plenty of other shit that's like just as annoying, in my opinion.
mm.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, what are you gonna do, man? Like, dude, like, what's more important? Like, wife and kids, girlfriend, family. Like, you know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
is
but
what it
then
is, man.
maybe it's the whole would it up in me to think that should we really overlook this injustice? You know, would these cunts not go around like taking advantage of people's tolerance or lack of action, type of thing? Like, should we really let these guys go around doing this shit? You know what I mean?
No, but it's like that's what I mean. But if they're willing to do that in front of their wife and kids, like, but like other people wouldn't. You know what I mean? Other people would be more like, you know what? I want to have some good family values that I want to pass on down and to show my kids.
Mm.
Like, I don't want to show my kids that that is the way forward. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So, but they're always willing to do that. So, like in that situation, again, like again, one example. But yeah, so I think that's the difference. So, you know, like as long as we're putting like family and kids and stuff
Mm.
first in that particular scenario before aggression, is probably not going to happen, right?
Mm. Mm. Okay. Anyway, so that was
Yeah,
a little incident. I
yeah,
can't remember the last time I've been close to a punch on, and it's the closest one that I can remember from recent memory. But there you go.
yeah. I've had a few close calls as well where like my anger's just gotten the better of me. And like I've arced up here and there, but then man, it's just not worth it this time because like if they're just whoever it is just like in a bad mood or whatever, or
Mm.
like willing to go further because they don't have wife and kids.
Mm.
Because don't forget, if you have wife and kids, you're always gonna be that 1% holding back.
Mm.
Like you're not gonna go in balls in because you're gonna think of your wife and kids no matter what.
Mm.
So I think that's important. So,
Mm.
and then if you're taking a guy with nothing to lose, then it's GG.
Mm.
Even if they're smaller than you or whatever, that's what I think
Mm.
as well. So,
Mm.
I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, it's like as long as it's not affecting the safety of my wife and kids,
Yeah.
I would definitely try to choose like the path of least like um least effect on my wife and kid as
Yeah.
long as they're safe. Yeah. So in that case, that would
Wise
probably
words,
put my
mate.
wife and
Wise
kid
words.
in danger in
Yeah.
that situation, if anything.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, yeah,
If only we could like simulate these scenarios and see like how we would act. Like if
yeah,
there was like a computer simulator to like put ourselves in as like avatar or something and then like play the scenario out when you're up against like a 15-year-old teenage girl, you know, up
yeah.
against like a smaller guy, a guy sort of your size, guy,
Yeah,
slightly bigger, a massive guy, like like
yeah.
that'd be interesting.
But look, sometimes you
Social
just get the
experiment.
shits. Look, sometimes you just get the shits, but that's why it's all about control. So like once this was like a few years ago, like probably just before COVID or something, and I was like just the commute, and I just like when I first got back from Korea, I think I got the shits the most because I was just so used to Korean public transport of like people just on their phones, not bothering people.
Yep.
And like as soon as I got back here, like freaking all these shekis were just playing like Bluetooth speaker music and shit on the train.
Yep.
And like I don't want to listen to their trash hip hop, man. I want to listen to my hip hop, you know what I mean? So like I was like, oh
Cut
fuck.
that
So like there
Bluetooth.
was so there was like these two dudes and not stereotype, but like they were big, like just like two tradie dudes, and then
Yep.
like they were just like blasting some shit ass like there's some shit new school hip hop that I just do not like. As I
Okay.
said, if it was at least good, and
Yep.
then like I was just like fuck, I don't like. It's just like even with my AirPods, I was like fuck, just annoying the fuck out of me, and
Mm.
like. I could just move to another carriage. Like if I'm me now, I'm like fuck. I'm just moving to another carriage, man. I want to go home and see my kid, right? But like just like got the mad shits, and then like I don't know, just that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you just lose rationale. So I just got the shits, and I put my music on fucking speaker,
Yep.
max volume, and
Yep.
just fucking sat down next to them, and
And
then fucking. Well, obviously that started it. They're like fucking, what the fuck you doing? And like kind of went like that.
yep.
And these two would have fucked me up for sure. First
Yep.
of all, it's 2-1,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I was just like, fuck it. Yeah, so sometimes you make shit
So what
decisions
happened?
anyway. Well, like I was just like, fucking stop playing this music. Or like I don't know, I was just pissed off that day as well. But like I didn't go full. Like obviously, I was just like, guys, like
So
fucking,
hang
do
on,
I
hang
have
on. So they were the two of them were sitting there, You sat next to them and then started blasting music.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I
and
don't
they
know
were,
what got over
then
me that day.
huh?
I don't know what got over me that day. I was
Yeah,
just like
and
for
then
the
they were
shits.
like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? And then what happened?
Yeah. Like at first they looked at each other like, is
Yeah,
this guy for real kind of thing? Yeah. And then I was like, guys, like, why are you pumping your shit, man? Like, I don't want to listen to it.
yeah,
And no one else does shit on the train. I think that's what pissed me off. Mom, like, fuck, man. Like, it's just as you said, it's just tolerated by everyone, right?
yeah.
So yeah, but no, it de-escalated.
Oh,
Like,
well, so what they turned their shit down after that.
well, actually, they were like, yeah, fuck, man, fucking just say so or something. Like, it was just like it was like a bit of like swearing, but
Yeah,
like they weren't they weren't gonna like well they at least they had some brains, so they were like we're not gonna fucking like escalate to violence straight away.
yeah, yeah,
So they yeah, like so they staunched, and then
yeah,
I was just like, all right, and then they were
yeah,
like, yeah, they turned their shit off,
yeah.
and I was like, cheers, and then I walked away.
Good.
Yeah,
Would you have done the same thing in
for the
hindsight?
people. Nah, no, not now, bro. I don't care now. I'm fucking got a different carriage, bro.
You wouldn't be
No
like, hey
point.
guys, do you mind turning that down? No, just not that.
Yeah, probably not. But like, that's the thing. I used to do that shit a lot
Yeah.
because used to ship me like some cunts like eating like fucking all this bullshit on the train, and then I'd just be like, hey, do you mind and shit? But just now, I just like I
Yeah,
can't be
we talked
fucked.
about this before. Eating on
Yeah,
the train,
yeah.
like it's so a non-issue. Like, as in, they're not as long
No,
as
no,
they're
no.
not eating fucking chitubu or some shit. Who cares?
They were eating some fucking curry shit. Yeah, yeah. Like legit. Like fucking take out the box and fucking mix fucking the curry and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like an absolute stench. It's not like
No,
청국장 or some shit.
that's like me eating like kimchi on the train or something. Anyway, like the point is, um, yeah, like it, you know, I guess, yeah. Look, at the end of the day, it's over nothing. That's the main thing. That's what I'm saying. It's over nothing. I
Do
would
you
only
not?
do.
But then, like, okay, so if you're walking away from that, do you not have that internal fucking conflict in your head or like dilemma? You go, hey, did I do the right thing? Am I just being a pussy? Like, do you not have that ongoing battle in your head?
Yeah, sometimes, but like, dude, I used to do that. Like, I used to do that for everything in terms of like, like cunts who wouldn't leash their dogs and shit. Like all the time, I'd be like, fucking, blah blah blah, because I have a small dog, right?
Mm, mm,
Yeah, like I got a small Maltese, and
mm,
cunts would have like their fucking big ass dogs unleashed, and I just be like, leash your dog. They're like, no, my dog's not gonna bite. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Leash your
mm,
fucking dog,
mm,
right? It's not a leash free park,
mm,
or like whatever, or area or whatever.
mm,
So shit like that. But it's just to the point now. It's just like, well, and also like, there'll be someone who'll be like, smoking where they shouldn't or whatever, and like give me the
mm.
shit. But now I realized, and this is straight up like what my wife told me,
Yeah.
right? And she said, you know what? If these people,
Mm,
like whoever is doing whatever, these
mm,
sort of bullshit acts, if they had the class
mm,
to think to
mm,
not do that,
mm.
they wouldn't do that in the first place. Like, like just they're not thinking, or they don't
Some
they
would.
don't
Some just need a nudge.
yeah, maybe, but like
Well,
a lot of
like
the
these two
time
tradies that you talked about, like as in, they responded to it by saying, "Hey, why didn't you just tell us?" Like,
I reckon that's purely out of shock that someone did that. I reckon if no one did that, they would just not give a
yeah, yeah,
fuck or
no,
not
no,
know.
okay.
It's
So
just that like no one's ever
they were
gone up to
taking
them before.
advantage of everyone's silence and
Correct.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
well, I think that's the case for most of the time. But if there was more frequent resistance, their actions would be moderated.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. But like I guess people don't like that's what I mean. So I don't give a fuck enough to want to do that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, like,
Yeah.
but hey, if everyone overlooks it, that's how Hitler happened.
Well, I mean, another thing you can do is you just move out of Western Sydney pretty much, and that's why people don't want to live here. Like, simple as that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's
Okay. By the way,
Oh, yep.
the wifey loved the politics one actually. She said it was good. So there you
Interesting
go.
because the views are
Uh,
pretty low.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's got its audience.
Yeah, yeah, no, which because I thought this was gonna go off given the clickbaity thumbnail that I put together. I really expected
Mm-mm.
this to explode, but it just never works out the way you intend, does it?
Yeah, the Diablo 2 one was the goat.
Yeah. All right.
I
Anyway,
told you a lot of people thought that.
so
Yeah.
we are going to continue the last week's discussion on politics. We kind of thought about doing this last week as well, but we just didn't have time for it. There was a show that I watched, a Korean show that I watched, you know, really that I really enjoyed last year, and it's basically like a survival slash brain gamey show. No, okay, no, it's got nothing to do with brains. But anyway, survival show, but it's based on your political. It's based around politics and political agenda and debating and shit like that. Um, and the participants in the show all do a test. It's basically like an MBTI on your political stance. So you're given four letters at the end of this test, and based on the results of that, it kind of has implications on the game that you play on the show. Okay. Anyway, it has some really interesting questions, so we're gonna go through that test right now. So
Let's go.
all right, and the whole thing is in Korean, so I'll just kind of try to translate and blah blah blah. All right, the nickname I'm gonna enter is Boz.
Here's
Um,
my political views.
all right, question number one. The income from your labor is more just than the income through your shares.
Income from labor is more just than income from shares. So the income from labor it has more significance than income from shares.
The wording was is just 정당하다.
Just,
Yeah.
just. Nah, 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 mate. However you make money, all good, baby, baby.
정당하다.
What? What's the exact Korean? What's
Just
the exact Korean?
justified. Hang on. You know what? I'll just put the whole thing. Oh, you can't fucking copy and paste.
Can you like ask the Korean question?
노동을 노동을 통한 수익이 so profit 뭐 그냥 income 노동을
No,
통한
no, no. Fuck it.
수익.
Just do the English. Just do the English. Yeah, yeah.
No, no,
He's
no. Let me finish it. 노동을
okay.
통한 수익이 주식을 통한 수익보다 더 정당하다.
정당하다. 둘 다 정당하다. 더 정당한 건 없다. 돈은 어떻게 벌어든 그 둘 중에서는 상관없다.
So
정직하게
so you
벌어라.
would be very disagree. Yeah? So one, correct?
Yes. So basically, yeah, like you can't be like obviously it's gonna be more like 나 열심히 일해서 이거 벌었다 obviously, but it doesn't mean it's more just than like 주식 올라갔네.
Okay, okay. All right. Anyway, we're not going to finish this at this pace. But anyway, next one. I'll just read it in Korean and then I'll translate it. 여성의 명백한 동의를 받지 않는 상황에서 이루어지는 섹스는 성폭행일 가능성이 높다. Sex that happens under when there isn't clear consent from the female is likely to be a sexual assault.
What?
Sex that happens,
Dude,
sex,
sex that
sex
happens without consent is sexual assault
without
anyway.
clear consent. Again, and I have to like like
Oh my God.
sex without clear consent, clear, definite consent from the female is likely to be sexual assault.
I don't get the whole like what how can the consent not be clear though? Like that's what I don't get.
Well, like yeah, it's obviously blurry, but okay. So maybe the girl agreed to go to the motel or didn't resist. And
Oh.
no, okay, okay. I guess it's a question of what is definite consent. But like maybe we can be like, oh yeah, well, I didn't say fuck me. So why why do you have your dick in? I don't know.
No, no, like the question's whack, man. Like, okay, like I think the question is whack because like the
Just
consent has to be.
remembering one of the dichotomies in this is um, towards feminism or towards equal rights
Yeah,
to human
obviously, but
rights.
the way they asked it is bullshit. It really lets me only go one way.
Answer the
Like,
fucking
I mean,
question.
mate, so consent's got to be clear. So I guess I have to lean towards the good side because I
Yeah,
mean the
yeah,
question's not fair.
agreeing that
Yeah,
it's likely to be sexual assault if there
yeah,
isn't
but I don't like the
definite
question because it's
consent.
making me go
Okay,
anti-feminism purely based on the question. So put me
whatever.
at four then, I guess.
All
Yeah,
right,
whatever it
four,
is.
done. Okay.
Whatever the
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
최저임금은 순기능보다 역기능이 더 크다. Minimum wage has more negative, undesired impact than desired impact. Oof.
Disagree.
Ooh.
Disagree. Yeah.
So
Disagree.
you think it has more desired impact? Hang
Yeah,
on.
it's
No,
it
hang on. Okay. Minimum wage has minimum wage has greater undesired impact than desired impact.
no. So so fucking I hate these double negatives or whatever. So for
Mhm.
me, it's minimum wage does more good than harm, but I
Mhm.
would do not extreme. So put me in like
It's
the
not about good and bad, yeah? It's about desired impact and
yeah,
undesired
yeah,
impact.
desired
Yeah,
impact.
yeah.
Yeah, so I would go
Slightly
with
different.
desired. Yeah, I'll go with desired impact, but just
Yep.
the minimum one. Desired
Okay.
impact minimum. Yeah.
This is fucking doing my head in. 순기능보다
Yeah,
역기능이 더
those other
크다?
preview questions were better.
Okay, alright. 일단 남자와 여자가 같은 직업에 같은 연봉을 받고 있다면 실은 여자가 더 유능할 것이다. If
Uh, yeah.
man and woman were in the same occupation on same salary, it's like the woman is likely to be more competent.
No, why?
Well,
Strongly
obviously
disagree.
they're assuming that women get paid less
But
in general.
this question, oh no, but this question is man and woman both getting paid the same,
Yes,
correct?
yeah.
For the same
Same
job,
occupation,
correct?
getting paid the same. If that is if
Same.
yeah, if that's the case,
Yeah.
the woman is actually likely to be more competent. So basically, the woman has usually there's handicap, but in order for it to be the same, she's overcome the handicap, so she is actually more competent. Does that make
No,
sense?
no. Yeah, it makes sense, but no, I disagree with that. I'm always about best person should get the job. So obviously that question is catered towards the handicap. So strongly disagree.
But this isn't asking about your belief. It's about asking your view on the social status. Like no, not social status. What's happening in society, and obviously we have to look at it in the context of Australian society.
Yeah, so the question is like, should there be like the quota for girls or whatever, right? It's basically that's what it's tailored towards, right?
No. Basically, it's asking if you think that men and women are getting paid equally or fairly. If there's gender pay gap, if the gender does gender pay gap exist or not? Basically.
For for the same job, no, no. I mean, dude, you bricklayer will get paid the same, man or woman, if you can do the same job. No dramas,
Okay.
mate.
So I
Yeah,
strongly disagree. Yeah.
yeah.
거주가 아닌 투기 목적의 부동산 구입 행위는 규제되어야 된다.
What's that mean?
So if it's not for residential purpose, if it's for investment, um, purchasing real estate should be regulated.
For investments?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I don't think it should be unlimited, right? I'm not a fucking commo, but I don't think it should be unlimited. So put me at so if six is
Oh,
extreme regulation,
yep, yep.
put me at four. Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah.
자본주의 시장에서 일반적으로 남성의 능력은 여성의 능력보다 더 높게 평가된다. So similar question to before, but in a free market society, generally men's capacity is regarded higher than female capacity.
Yes, yes. Strongly agree. Yeah.
Really? Why?
It's not my view, but you're talking about this what's generally regarded, right?
But it's like that totally contradicts to the two questions before. You were saying that men and women get paid equal.
For the same job, but this is different. This is like, okay, so if there's like like a million men and a million women, and then they had to like
No, no, no.
the
We're
world
talking
had
about one man and one female. Like as in, okay, the wording is 자본주의 시장에서 일반적으로 generally 남성의 능력, a man's capability, 능력은 여성의 능력보다 더 높게 평가된다. Regarded
oh,
higher.
but there's no context of what
No,
it is.
no.
But like, what if it's like, what if it's like fucking tennis or something? You know what I mean? Like, is it like tennis? Is it like marketing? Like, it's hard to say. So I thought, like, generally speaking, I thought it was yes, because generally the guys are fucking regarded more for like, like for example, right? I'm gonna use sports as an analogy because obviously that's a big easy one. Like women football, the generation of that revenue versus like men's football, it's just like you can't compare it, right? Which shows that the world is saying that
Okay, all
men
right.
are.
Well, if that's the way that you interpret it, like my interpretation is just generally when you look
That's
at
my
it.
interpret. No, that's my
Yeah.
interpretation. Actually,
So
yeah, yeah,
you agree? How
yeah. I
strongly
agree
do you
to
agree?
that. Let's go five for that then.
Okay.
5 out of 6. I think that's pretty good.
돈이 많은 사람들은 병의 경중과 상관없이 더 좋은 의료 서비스에 더 쉽게 접근할 수 있어야 한다. Rich people,
Hmm.
regardless of the severity of the disease, should be able to access better medical service more easily.
No, strongly disagree. That the rich or poor medical is fair go for all, I reckon. So strongly disagree. Yep.
Okay. 여배우, 여류시인, 여기자 등 직업 앞에 성별을 붙이는 것은 여성의 가치를 평가절하하는 방법 중 하나다. So
I have no idea.
when you stick,
Translate that.
you know the term 여배우, right? You know, like
Like
actor and actress.
female, yeah, female actress, yeah,
Yeah.
female
Well,
actor,
you know
actress.
how there's well, in English, oh yeah, either way, that kind of stuff. So when you're putting that prefix in the Korean context in front of the occupation, yeah, it's a way of undermining
Undermining, devaluing.
yeah females' value.
I'll say in Korea, yes. In Korea, I reckon that is true because like they say yojigons and shit, which is fucking whack because like you don't say that shit here, alright? Like yojigons is fucking whack, dude. Like you know what I
Yojigon?
mean? Like
Oh yeah, you don't really
yeah,
say
yojigons is
Yojigon, do
whack.
you?
You don't you well you do say it here, like oh yeah, female employees let's do this. Like yojigon's whack in my opinion,
Well, but
but
then we say actor and actress, and then we're making a conscious effort to not say actress, just say female actor.
do we say
Yeah,
that?
I think so. I think there's
I don't say that. I just say actress.
okay. Well,
Nothing
anyway,
wrong with
so
that.
what's your answer?
Uh,
So you think it devalues them or undervalues them or not?
I think your bill no. So nah, no devalue there. Yojigon, your bill different. Your bill no
Hang on,
devalue.
well, okay,
Oh,
we're not singling only 여배우 out. So the example was 여배우, 여류시인, I think, which is like female poet, and then
okay, okay.
여기자. So like they're saying it's about the general action.
오케이, 오케이. 그러면 agree로 가는데 number 4 agree로 갈게.
Okay, okay. 기업이 정부보다 더 큰 해악을 끼칠 가능성이 높다. It's likely for corporations then corporations are more likely to cause harm than government.
Strongly agree. Yeah.
Really?
Actually, wait. That really depends. Sometimes they can both be quite poison. So I guess like it depends on the corporation. But like, I think the hidden evil companies are serial companies killing our kids, bro.
What? What? You don't eat cereal?
Yeah. So like evil companies like tobacco, cereal, because they get addicted, the sugar gets addicted to the kids at a young age, and then like they have to like forever feed the sugar demand.
Fuck off, man.
Yeah,
This
hundred
is
percent,
some bullshit fucking
hundred
conspiracy
percent.
theory at its
Yeah,
worst.
100%. So like Cocoa Pops and like all that shit, like that's the evil shit.
Okay,
No,
sure. You're comparing
yeah.
that to
Anyway, so
tobacco, huh? Fucking big call.
yeah, well, I guess at the end of the day, more harm than good. So,
Mm.
um, yeah, let's go corpo is a little bit more evil. So let's go four on that. Yeah,
Yep.
corpo is
Okay.
more evil.
Yep. 정부는 CEO들의 임금의 상한선을 정해야 한다. Government should cap the salary of CEOs.
Fuck no. Get the fuck out of there. Strongly disagree.
Yeah. 아,
Government should never cap shit on that.
납세자의 세금이 순수 예술을 진흥하는 것에 사용되어서는 안 된다. The taxpayers' money should not go into uh, developing, encouraging, flourishing pure art.
Taxpayers' money on art.
And so the statement was that it shouldn't be used.
It shouldn't be used. Okay, yeah, look, I think extreme is too harsh, so let's go out of the three levels of shouldn't be used, let's go the mid one. So like shouldn't be used because I want it to be used on other shit, but like not like extreme. Okay, so middle of shouldn't be used. Make sense?
Why
So
not?
that would be
Why not?
uh yeah, it's good. Don't forget I'm an art man at heart, but taxpayer money, I want that to be on the bottom of the list for sure.
What
For
if
sure.
what if the citizens want it?
I have the citizens vote for it and shit. Yeah, well, I guess you're adding that variable there. Um,
Well,
but my
you're adding your own assumption that it's not what people want.
yeah, true. But yeah, no, it's I got to answer the question, right? So
No, no,
yeah,
no. Oh, wait,
yeah,
I'm just kind
yeah,
of.
yeah. As in you elaborating, but on why. But yeah, I think I'm down for other shit. Like for example, can we like fix the roads first before we go into the art? That would
Okay,
be good.
and I'm getting technical because it was just saying it shouldn't be used, but yeah, no, I'm saying yeah, let's it should definitely be used. Just we'll just pay $1 for it. One
Yeah,
dollar.
no, that's what I'm saying. It should be used. That's what I said. That's what put me in the middle because it should be used, but put me. Oh, so you think I should go the other way, like should be used and then
No, no,
go
because the
into.
statement was that it shouldn't be used, and if you said agree to that. So
Yeah,
saying
so it shouldn't be used. Okay, put me at four. 4 out of 6. It
okay, so you
shouldn't be
think it
used.
should
Four
be
out of
you,
six.
you still think it shouldn't be used.
Well, it should be used, but very less. So four.
Okay,
Okay, so you think
wait,
I should go
please, please,
three? You
please.
think I should go three?
It
Okay,
is
go
three.
three.
Okay.
Okay, go three.
정부는 부의 재분배에 지금보다 더 힘써야 된다. Government should work harder on redistributing wealth.
Uh, yes, I think so. Yes. So put me at five.
빈곤의 책임은 기본적으로 본인에게 있다. Uh, it's essentially the responsibility of poverty is on that individual.
Mm, mm, mm.
기본적으로? Yeah,
Yeah,
fundamentally,
fundamentally, yeah.
the individual is responsible for their poverty.
In Australia, almost definitely. So five out of 6.
Yep. 상속으로 부를 얻는 것은 정당하다. Inheritance, gaining wealth from inheritance is justified.
Number six, strongly agree. And I'm from the 재개발, man. So
Oh,
I got,
doing it
I'm
for
from
the
the
fans.
재개발, dad. I
Doing
got
it for the
nothing.
fans. Hey, 동호,
I
this
got
one's for you,
nothing.
동호. Yeah.
I got nothing. I started from the bottom, man.
DH, shout out. This one's for you, mate. 세계의 역사를 여성들이 지배했다면 폭력과 전쟁은 훨씬 적었을 것이다.
아마도, 아마도, four. 아마도.
I would have thought definitely. They would have bitched more.
아마도.
They would have bitched and like, big like, yeah,
Oh,
there would be a lot of little drama.
never underestimate the female backstab. You look at some of the history, like all the. Don't forget some of the queens of Korea. They sent their henchmen to assassinate and stuff. So don't
Yeah, yeah, so
underestimate. But
assassination and whatever, but I reckon less war. Yeah, anyway.
I still
You know
said
what?
agree. Yeah,
We should, maybe, yeah, if there is time, maybe we should, I should do this myself. Anyway,
yeah, you definitely should.
여성들이 보건 휴가, it's AKA 생리 휴가를
Yeah,
주말에 붙여 쓰는 것은 정당한 권리 행사이므로 비난할 수 없다. So,
yeah, fair play. All good, all good.
yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, all good. Fair play.
비난할 수 없.
Yeah,
Six?
yeah, fair play. 남자가 있었으면 난 100% 그렇게 했을 텐데. 금요일 날에 쓰고 막 월요일 날에 쓰고. Why
아,
not?
야, 새끼.
Fuck the corpo.
데이트와 섹스에 대한 주류 문화의 규범은 남성의 욕구를 만족시키기 위한 가부장제를 기반으로 하고 있다. Oh, this one's a tough one. 데이트, 섹스에 대한 주류 문화의 규범은 남성의 like the general culture around dating and sex um, is based on patriarchal um, patriarchal
Like based on the fundamental
like for men
fundamental
basically like
horn dog of the guy. Yeah, basically.
yeah it's to appease like
That's the
men's
booty.
desire which is like the patriarchal kind of base.
Um, Actually, from what I know, like
The
the
mainstream culture around dating and sex.
yeah, well, but actually, no, like from what I know, research, like from whatever shows that it's actually like wanting to breed, like man wants to implant seed to breed.
Yes.
Yeah, apparently. So that's why like we're attracted to white hips or whatever, some BS like that. So,
Yeah.
um, I
And
guess if
women want to be protected. That's why they're attracted to broad shoulders.
yeah, well that
So
sort of
like
jazz. So
fertility versus security.
yeah, correct. So, I guess fundamentally, it is in a way, but
욕구를 만족시키기는
yeah,
to
but like the
to
way it's
satisfy their
worded is
desires.
the way it's worded is freaking whack. But
It's written by feminists. That's why.
oh, is it?
No,
Is
I
it?
don't know. I don't
Fucking
know. I'm just.
wouldn't be surprised, man. But
Okay.
yeah, I
So what's
guess
your thing? So how much do you agree or disagree?
yeah. Let's go four. Four is fair. Four is fair.
영화 속에서의 여성의 배역이 상대적으로 부족한 것은 심각한 문제다.
Does that mean
Lack of
female?
female roles in movies is a serious issue.
Nah, there's plenty of movies where like you can find them for sure. So whether like
Okay, so you
whether
disagree with
that's
the
like
premise of the question, yeah?
yeah, I think so. Like I mean, is it in like in mainstream or whatever? Like
No, but if you
and
think
then
about if you think about, you could name 10 actors like off the top of your head easily
mm,
versus naming 10 actresses. All right, I'm gonna
what
put you on
type
the
of
spot.
actress?
Go. All right,
What
let's
type
go.
of actress?
10.
Shit.
Go.
10 female,
Yep.
10 actresses.
Yep.
Okay. Salma Hayek. Is that one? Is that her
Okay.
name? Salma Hayek.
I didn't.
Uh, Katie Holmes. Uh, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence. Nicole Kidman. Emily Blunt. Kate Blanchett. Margot Robbie. Yeah. Tia Leone. Uh, Julia Roberts.
Okay. All right. Name
Yeah.
10 dudes. Go. 10 dudes. Go.
Okay, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Nicolas Cage, Jamie Foxx, Samuel L. Jackson, Mel Gibson, Russell Crowe, Russell Brand, uh, Dustin Hoffman, Gene Hackman,
Okay. All right. Another experiment. All right. We're going to go
uh,
Korean. Go. Female.
female Korean.
Yep.
Oh, this is 송혜교, 송혜교,
Yep.
송혜교 그리고 잠깐만. 총애교하고 강혜정
Yep.
이름인가?
Yep. 올드보이.
그리고
사랑해 아저씨.
음, 그리고 또 누구 있지? 이하늘? 김하늘?
김하늘.
김하늘?
이 하늘은
김현주.
디오시고 새끼야.
맞다. 아, 김현주?
Yep.
김현주?
Yep.
아, 그리고 박보영?
Yep.
그리고 한효주?
Yes.
그리고 손예진?
Yep.
그리고 최시라?
Whoa. Okay. Well, that was blast from the past.
그리고 최지우?
Yep. 와, 첼시라 나올 줄은 몰랐다.
최시라는 몰라. 나 누군지도 모르는데
오케이,
와이프
오케이, 오케이.
좋아해서. 그 신민아.
Okay, okay. All right, dudes.
예. 아까 어때? 아까 어때?
Dudes.
최민식, 한석규, 이정재, 김래원, 허준호? Is that his name? 그리고 원빈, 그리고 최민식. 했나? 최민식 했어.
Yeah.
최민식 했어. 조성우, 정우성, 장동근, 고수.
Okay. All right. So,
I can name him. Yeah.
I think for Koreans, female was more difficult. I
Yeah,
think that's
Koreans.
a
Yeah.
bigger difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the
Yeah.
context of this was written by Koreans, so they're thinking in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
True.
your
True.
answer, what's your answer?
심각하지 않다. 심각하지 않다. 그냥
No, no,
그
no, that's
심각하지
not
않.
the question is 부족한 것은 심각한 문제다. 근데 심각한 문제가 아니다.
아니다에서 2로 가자. 넘버 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
오케이.
일을 했으면 성과와 무관하게 최소한의 소득은 보장받아야 된다. Regardless of your performance, you should be guaranteed of a minimum income as long as you work.
Yeah, 5 out of 6. Yeah, you just got to be paid for your time at least. So 5 out of 6.
Very reasonable.
Yeah.
경쟁은 일반적으로 세상을 더 좋게 만든다. 경쟁, competition.
Competition, very good, very good. 6 out of 6. Competition, very good.
자유시장에 맡기는 게 정부 정책을 세우는 것보다 낫다.
Free market's better than government market.
Government policy.
Yeah, free market's better than government policy. Yeah, fuck
Yes.
yeah. 6 out of 6, baby.
여성 모델이 속옷이나 수영복을 입고 찍는 섹시 화보는 그동안 성취해온 여성 인권을 후퇴시킨다. It's
That's degraded girls like rights like because they were seen as objects, blah blah blah. Is that sort of what it's going for? Or
yeah,
they're
it's
seen lightly because of they're doing that?
yeah, it's whatever the opposite of progress is. It has the negative effects on women's rights. When female models, you know, wear 속옷 and 수영복 on sexual.
Uh, disagree. I think that's a separate issue. So yeah, two out of six.
Yep. 자본주의는 그 어떤 경제 시스템보다 우월하다. superior.
So it's kind of like 뭐지? Free market capitalism
Yep.
is the best
Yep.
one. Yes,
Yep.
6 out of 6, baby. Capitalism. And that's from the Che
Very,
Guevara
very,
boy.
very clear on that one, on that topic.
That's from the Che Guevara boy.
내가 혜택을 받지 않는 공공 사업에 대해서는 세금을 납부하지 않아야 된다. If I'm not
Uh,
if I'm not benefiting from this public business, public, whatever, public offering, I shouldn't have to pay tax for it.
fuck, I guess if it was financially viable, I would. But so yeah, let's go 4 out of 6 on that. 4 out of 6. I think that's fair.
도로나 전기 같은 공공재는 반드시 국가가 운영해야 한다. Roads and electricity should be run by
I,
government.
I would prefer that. Yeah, 5 out of 6. Yeah.
경제 성장 우선 정책이 복지 우선 정책보다 빈곤 탈출에 더 큰 기여를 할 것이다. Economic growth focused policy will have greater contribution to escaping poverty than distribution focused policy.
Probably not. So I would say 3. Probably not.
Okay. 정부는 기업 임원 등 남성 중심의 고소득 직종에 대한 여성 할당제를 시행해야 된다. So C level or male dominant high earning positions, there should be female quota.
No quotas
By
ever.
the government.
Ever. No quotas ever.
Okay. Okay. 정부가 민간 사업에 개입하면 대부분 망친다고 봐야 된다. When the government gets involved in private businesses, private projects, it fucks it up most of the time.
5 out of 6. Okay.
정부는 공직의 일정 비율을 여성에게 할당해야 된다. 공직, so like public servants, basically. Yeah, government positions, like again, quota on female.
No quotas ever for anything.
Okay.
Just best person gets the job. Man, dog, female, doesn't matter.
Yep. 고액의 사교육은 규제되어야 된다. High level of private education, like very expensive private education, should be regulated.
Oh, this is where I'm probably going to contradict myself, but purely because I hate fucking that education. So, should it be regulated? Look, personally, probably not, but should it be fucking overhauled? Yes. So, I'm just going to say yes for the fuck of it because I don't like it.
How strong?
Let's go 5. 5 out of 6. Regulate that bitch.
수입품에 대한 관세는 자국의 일자리를 보호하는 좋은 방법이다. Tariffs are a good way to protect domestic
Protect the
jobs.
domestic. Yeah, I think so. 5 out of 6.
나는 모든 사람들이 비슷한 월급을 받게 하는 나라에서 살고 싶지 않다.
Yeah, so I don't want to live in a commie land, right? Yes. So yeah, 6 out of 6. Capitalism, baby.
우리나라로 들어오는 이민자는 그 수를 최소화시켜야 한다.
Like you gotta
Immigration
limit
should be
immigration.
minimized.
Yeah, you gotta limit it. So I think 4 out of 6. Yeah, 4 out of 6. That's fair.
The wording was minimized, yeah?
Yeah, minimized. So
Yep.
4 out of 6. That's fair.
조선족이 범죄를 저지를 확률이 높다고 느끼는 것은 편견에 사로잡힌 잘못된 생각이다.
잘못된 생각이다. 잘못된.
편견, so yeah, prejudiced misconception.
잘못 근데 잘못된 그러니까 like I think it's very inaccurate. I think in terms of like it's an inaccurate perception because it's very heavily focused on that. So I would say yeah, it's a misconception. Yeah. misconception misconception의 중 misconception 5 out of 6. misconception 5 out of 6.
대중매체에 긍정적인 성소수자 캐릭터가 자주 등장하는 것은 소수자 가시화를 위한 좋은 방법이다. 가시화? 가시화가 뭐지?
And by the way,
Basically,
if it cuts off, you start one and invite me, all right?
I don't know if I can, but yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
Because it might cool down.
Okay.
So positive LGBTI characters on mass media is good for 가시화. 가시화?
가시화? Is that like diversity?
가시적 이게 visualize. No, that's not. 가시적이면 이게 그 거시적인 거구나. 가시화, 가시화 하다 영어. Visualize. I guess it's like a good way to get them like expose them to society, I suppose.
Uh, yeah, that's a fair call. Yeah, 4 out of 6, fair call.
Yeah. 한국 사회에 온 이주민은 우리 문화에 동화시키는 것이 좋다. Assimilation or integration. It's good to integrate immigrants into the Korean society.
Yeah, fair call. 4 out of 6, 4 out of 6, fair call.
남자와 여자의 차이는 자명하기 때문에 각자 별개의 사회적 역할을 수행하며 상호 보완하는 것이 이상적이다. So,
Can I guess? Can I guess what that question is? Is it
yeah,
like
go for it.
yeah, like men and women are different, so we should stick to what we are good at and stick to the strengths of each?
Yeah, basically, compatible, mutually compatible. Yeah. No, basically. So yeah,
Yeah,
stick
yeah.
to your roles, like do what you're good at, type of thing.
6 out of 6, baby.
숨길 것이 없는 떳떳한 사람에게는 정부의 감시가 오히려 그를 보호해주는 수단이 된다. So if you have nothing to hide, um, government spying on you should be a way to protect you.
Get the F out of here. No government spying, please. 1 out of 6, brother.
The general public tend to make wrong decisions a lot.
The general public. Nah, nah,
일반 대중들, the
nah,
general,
nah,
yeah,
nah, 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 nah.
tend to make
일반은
incorrect decisions.
아니야. 전체적 일반은 올바르지. 그러니까 disagree 중간 2 out of 6. Disagree. Yeah.
PC주의자들의 주장이 선을 넘은 경우가 많다.
그러니까 PC가
Work.
안 좋다.
Yeah. Well,
PC가 안
well,
좋다.
they tend to, step over the boundary. 주장이 선을 넘는 경우가 많다.
6 out of 6, Bobby.
의무를 먼저 잘 이행할 때 권리를 주장할 자격도 주어진다. When you execute your duty, when you serve your duty, then you have your right to your entitlements.
Like earn your clout. Yeah. I'll go 5 out of 6. Fair call. Fair call.
디즈니는 인어공주 실사 영화에 흑인을 캐스팅함으로써 원작의 추억을 간직한 팬들을 배신했다.
배신. 그 단어가 참 마음에 안 들어. Like I mean I don't like that they changed it, but I don't think it's patient. But I know what it's trying to say, so I will go with 5 out of 6. Yes.
I think it's good when you rationalize your decision a little bit.
Yeah, because I got to explain it. Like, yeah, it's like I don't like the word patient, but I understand what it's trying to do.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. 동성 커플은 결혼과 입양 권리 등 이성 커플과 동일한 권리를 누려야 한다.
Should they have the same?
Yes.
Is that uh I don't I definitely think they should have some, but like exactly the same, I would have to go a little bit no, so I will say 3 out of 6. That's a fair call. 3 out of 6.
Which ones should they not have?
The kids one. That's where I get a bit. I'm not saying they shouldn't. All right. I'm just saying like there needs. It can't be the same. Like so, if if a if a man and a woman couple who've tried really like hard and like they can't have kids, like they should be above the list of a gay couple. Hey,
Adoption. We're talking about
that's just
adoption.
fair. Yeah, adoption. That's fair. That's fair play. I reckon.
So
I
the
think that's fair
assumption
play.
is heterosexual couple is likely to be better parents than homosexual couple? Is that the
No,
no?
I'm
It's not.
thinking no, I'm thinking in the perspective of the kid. I think the kid should have the chance to have a mum and dad before a dad and dad, and I think that's a fair call.
Right, they should have a chance. Interesting. Okay. I've never
Yeah,
thought of it that way. But then, well, I
yeah.
guess it's yeah. Okay. Number three,
Again, this is just purely thinking over the kid. That's why I'm rationalizing it like that. But yeah, yeah.
한국 사회는 징병제가 있기 때문에 남자에게 더 불리한 사회이다. 징병제, conscription.
Oh yeah, like conscription sucks. So it's
So that
disadvantage to
puts
men.
men at a disadvantage. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, objectively, you would have to say so. So yeah, I guess 4 out of 6. It's not a huge. It's not huge, I reckon. So 4 out of 6, but maybe all the numbers who've gone may heavily disagree. But yeah, 4 out of 6 because Korea makes up for it. So I have to think of it in this Korean nationality here. So
Mm.
for example, if it was here, then yeah, it will be like heavily disadvantaged. But over there, I
Mm.
think they balance out the scales a bit. You know what I mean? So
Because
I would
because
say four
women
out of
are
six.
generally at a disadvantage. So this kind of
Yeah, yeah.
kind of balances things out, do you reckon?
Yeah, yeah, balances scales. I mean, I still like this is the thing. Korea's still got a long way to go for, for girls to get a bit more, get a bit more flowers for sure, so
Okay.
to
Where
speak.
where where did you feel that? In what kind of
Oh, like the 여직원's a good one. So like you still have like shitty ass companies who'll be like, oh, yo, 여직원들 이렇게 뭐야? Like fucking hate that shit. Like number one, as I said, I'm a big man of free market. Man, woman, dog, whatever,
yeah.
whoever's best at the job. Okay, so that's number one. It's still there's still the bit of that distinction there, right? So
Mm.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Okay.
야,
오늘
능력하고 무능력은 남자고 여자 상관없어.
오늘
무능력은 무능력이야.
오늘 오늘날 한국 사회에서 여자로 산다는 것은 남자로 사는 것보다 더 편한 점이 많다.
음. 여자로 사는 게 편한 점이 더 많다.
음.
요즘 사회에서는 I think so. 4 out of 6. 4 out of 6.
Okay. So your advantage and comfort, you're sort of distinguishing the two, yeah? Okay.
100%. 100%. 내 와이프 아주 편하게 살던데.
Mhm. Okay. Though being disadvantaged, no? Yeah.
에,
남자들과 비교했을 때 여자들은 안정적인 인간관계 없이 행복하기 어렵다.
is that saying like girls need like a partner more because they get more
No, no,
lonely?
no. This is not necessarily like a partnership, but just general 인간관계.
Oh, they need more human interaction.
Yes, stable. They are more dependent or reliant on stable human social interaction than men.
Uh, yes, yes, I'll go 5 out of 6 on that. I'll
In
go
terms
5 out of
of
6 on that.
in terms of its contribution to your happiness. Yeah, five.
Yeah, like I've just seen like just out of my sample size of 38 years,
Yep.
like I've just seen men are far more happy to be alone than women in general, like friends or partners. Men
Um,
are happy to be alone.
Boz,
Yeah.
we're only halfway. Yeah.
Why
Uh,
it did it's okay. Let's speed it
I
up,
saw I saw the bar at the bottom now, and we're halfway.
mate. All right. So what do we do? We speed it up, or do we just stop here and just go? Yeah, let's stop here, and then we'll have to revisit it. Oh, but you can't save it.
I doubt it.
Yeah, no, you can't save it. Man, it's so long, dude. How many
Yeah, no,
fucking
it
questions
is
there are?
long. I didn't think it would take this long. Obviously, like we're talking through each question and stuff, so
Yeah, yeah,
adds more to it. But okay,
yeah.
how
What's
about
your
this?
call? What do you think?
No. I think we should stop it. Like forget about okay, well maybe do the test in your own time or whatever to get the result. I think it'd be fun to get the result and then talk about it. What I think we should do is pick out the question, some of the juicy questions, and then like
Mm-mm.
deep dive into them.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, all right. Let's do that. What do you, well, before we do that, what do you think overall, like, in terms of my my answers, what does it shape up in your opinion? Sort of like
Well,
mid right, eh? Mid right. Like when I was
okay.
doing it, I was
So,
thinking, yeah, mid right sounds about right.
so hang on. So the dichotomies are the gender. There's
Mm.
also the one around. Um, okay, so
What'd
there's
you get?
right and left, right and left. Obviously, you're way right, and then there's
Yeah,
gender. So F like feminist or equal. They're the two dichotomies. Um,
I would have been equal for
and then
sure. By
there's
the way,
like
I answered that.
wealth, like your background. So you know how.
Okay.
And then the final one is what's the final one? Oh, open-minded versus competitive, conservative.
Oh yeah. So, dude, I would have been like right, equal, because as it's like feminist, equal, or anti-feminist, right? So I would have been like right,
Yep.
equal. And what was the third one? The wealth thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that would have.
working class versus upper middle.
Yeah, that would have been because I did want a bit of distribution, right? So that would have been interesting to see where we've ended up. Most likely
I
would
don't
have
think
been more.
we got too many questions around that. So like there's questions like I've had a rat in my house or some shit like that, right? And obviously that's completely
Yeah,
different like between the Australian and Korean context.
yeah,
So
yeah,
there's that and then there's open-minded versus conservative. And just mind you, in each one, so it's not like you're given a score of one, two, or three.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
like you're like right one, you know, equal to, for instance. And then
yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
then that your score kind of plays into the games on the show. Anyway,
yeah, yeah. I think I would probably been like conservative one, maybe. So like just that one. But anyways, yeah. What'd you get?
boy,
Can't see, can't
yeah,
see.
I'll unblur.
One right, one equal, two upper middle, and one conservative. Yeah, so I feel like we would have been really similar. We've been really similar, eh? Hey,
Yeah,
maybe do you reckon is this? Do you think this plays any facet of why we got along at all?
I think so.
Could be,
Yeah,
could be,
yeah,
because Amy was when she watched the politics one, she was saying like, oh man, like because your parents were like full far right and stuff. She's like, oh man, like because she's not that right, so she would have been like, 집에 시집 갔으면 되게 와 hardcore 할 뻔했다 and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, that's the thing. Like it defines a lot of values and stuff. You know what I mean?
mm,
And it's funny how I have these from my parents as well, because you're also a toned down version, and I'm like you know what I mean? It's like your folks are here, and then you here, and then I'm here. That's why we when we kind of toned down versions of our
yeah,
folks,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
All right.
Interesting.
Okay, let's leave it here and then revisit it another time.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just.
Consider doing the test on your own just with Amy to just to get the
Yeah,
result.
yeah, for sure.
No, no, no.
Oh, it's a wood, bro.
We're just
Game,
trying to talk
dude,
Origin.
dude. Can we just talk? Yeah, can we just talk Origin for like 5 minutes, dude? I was gonna say, dude, this should have been the game one team to give ourselves a shot, eh? That's I just can't help but feel like this should have been the game one team. I do feel
Like
like we
you mean
so
just
much
the decision around DCE or other decisions also, other changes also.
all of them, but definitely the DCE one. Definitely the DCE one. Um,
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with him being given game one, the opportunity in game one. See,
like the final chance, yeah.
Suncorp, like as much as we got domoed in the forward pack, our discipline really let us down. And
Yeah, yeah,
obviously one thing leads to another. When you're
yeah.
sort of on the back foot, then you're trying to hold them down more, so you get penalized and all that kind
Yeah,
of shit.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. And he didn't play shit. He was just like
I
just a
play
null
pretty shit.
factor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, I was gonna say, hey, no, I was just gonna say, but do you think, like, I feel like if I was Billy, right, and I think I told you this, I would have told DC more like, hey, you didn't make the decision to retire. I respect that. I
mm,
respect that.
mm.
So like you can come into this camp, but like know that like honestly, like and without like it's not help back, but be like I need to absolutely kill this series. It is more of a transition year. So come into camp and then like show Tom Dearden the way and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean he doesn't start, but I definitely would have put that preface in place. So then like it would have been like less media fanfare about dropping. Do you know what I mean? It would have been like keep it open, like
Nah,
open. No.
I think it's fine what happened. Like, as in,
Okay.
because he's also the captain. So what? As if you would be like, hey, yeah, just consider this your transition year. Like, come on, like you gotta go into it like fucking, both hands. Like, you gotta just go full on.
Fair call. Yeah, fair
He
call. And then
obviously he gave it a crack, gave his best shot for game one, which it was far short of what we needed. And
mm,
like for us to have any chance, as I said in this group chat, like it's still a very, very slim chance, but it is a chance at least. It's our only chance to do this. Like, yeah.
yeah, the hard part is if we scrap game two, like we manage, like we just pull it off. How do we pull it off again in game three? Because like that's the hard part. Because because Blues will adjust, right?
Mm,
Like not to kimchi 국물을,
mm,
but you gotta think of game three as well, right? Like I understand, like we have to win game two. I get that, but
yeah.
it's also like we win this, and
Mm.
then we then have to
Bring
Qatar as
DC
well.
back.
Yeah, 고기판 가라, 고기판 가라. Yeah, but like we're gonna have to like think of something fresh as well, right?
Hey, yeah, you never know the bounce of the ball. There might be a few injuries, because already, like,
Oh, Moses.
is Tall out or not?
I don't know about Tall, but Moses is gone. You know that, right?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Dude, Moses is out. Lua is in.
Oh shit. Well, it's not much of a loss.
Yeah, no, no, no. As in, like, I actually think Luai can be more threatening. I really do. In this scenario, because Luai's been playing good at the Tigers, and he's really gonna go all out, yeah, because he's just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
know
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
This will
yeah,
be his like your the redemption chance. So yeah, he'll fucking
yeah.
go hardcore. Yeah, so they're not losing much from Moses. Like if they're losing something, no, it's not. I don't even
It's
consider.
just a kicking game. Yeah, just a kicking game. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, geez, the Panthers boys are back on again. We'll see.